Okay, section 4.6, let's continue learning how to solve percent problems using equations now. Okay, on this one we're going to be solve the percent problems using the equation R times B equals A. Okay, for the basic equation R times B equals A, you got R, that's the rate, okay, that's going to be the percent. Then we got the base. What number are we finding the percent of? Okay, and then the amount. What is the part? Okay, if I want to find what's 25% of 100, well, when it tells me, A is going to be that number. Okay, so let's take a look here. The basic equation can also be written in the form A equals R times B. This form is convenient for when solving the amount for A because it puts A in the front. Okay, that's it. Okay, so let's take a look. To find the amount of the given base in the percent, what is 65% of 800? Well, notice the 65%, that's going to be our rate. And notice what they're doing here. Okay, you can't just do percent. You have to put this percent back into a decimal, okay, for your calculator. Okay, now your calculator will turn from decimal to percent, but it won't go the other direction. You're going to have to do that on your own. So when we do this in the calculator, we multiply this times that, then we're going to get an amount. Okay, so let's come down. That's going to be our type 1. Our type 2 problem will be this: find the base of the given percent. Okay, well, 40% of what number? Okay, well, they give us the percent here, but notice we're missing the base. Okay, and then we have to do this right here. We'll find out. We'll find the base. And there's a way to do that because you've done it before. We're just going to divide. Okay, here we are. Find the percent rate given the base and the amount. Well, notice we have the 92. Notice we have this, but we do not have the rate. So once again, we are doing some multiplication. If you remember from the last section, also whenever we've done our cross products, you're just going to divide off. So we're either going to be multiplying or dividing. Okay, so let's take a look. One more little caution here. Of means to multiply. The dot is used in the percent formula. Is means equal. Okay, so these right here, very good to know. Okay, so let's look at one they do for us. What is 65% of 800? This is a type 1 formula. Notice, okay, we're going to be using the A equals R times B. Let me get my pen out here. Okay, well, our A is the 65%. Notice they changed it. Okay, basically what they did is they divided by 100, or they went ahead and just moved this decimal 2 places back. Okay, multiply that by 100 and you get 520. Okay, simple as that. And there's ways to check yourself, but we won't worry about that too much yet. Okay, note the operation of these examples can be performed with a calculator, yada yada yada. Just like the last thing, it's always good to write this stuff down, because just in case you might think something in your head, but you might be just a little bit wrong. So it's good always, like I said, double check it, write it down, double check it, and then make sure then you can go put it in your homework, because on your assessment you don't get a second chance. Okay, 42% of what number is 157.5? Well, let's get out our pen here. We've got R times B equals A. Well, notice our A is going to be the 157.5. Our rate is going to be 42%, which is going to actually be 0.42, because remember, I've got to move that decimal back. And then our base, we don't have that. Okay, well, notice all I've got to do is take this 0.42 and I'm going to divide it off on both sides. And when I do that, I get a base that's equal to, I'm going to get my calculator out, 157.5 divided by 0.42. Well, I get a base of 375. And here's how you can check yourself. You could literally take this 375 and multiply it by 0.42, and you will get back your 157.5. You can put everything back into the equation and check it. Okay, let's try another one here. What percent of 92 is 115? So we've got our rate times the base is equal to 115. Well, I don't know what this R is, but I do know my B is 92. And I could rewrite that as 92B, because remember, multiplication is commutative, so I can move it around. And that's all equal to 115. Well, once again, I'm going to divide off this 92 off both sides. Okay, take my 115 divided by 92 on my calculator, and I get 1.25. Okay, now this 1.25, that is not a percent, that is a decimal. I need to multiply this by 100, and so my answer, my rate, is going to be 125%. Now yes, you can plug in that 1.25 and you can multiply that by 92 and you will get back to your original 115. Okay, let's look at another example. I'll let them work out for us. Percents can be changed to fraction form, and in some cases the fraction form will simplify the work. For example, we know that 75% equals 3/4. 33 1/3% is 1/3, and 12 1/2% is 1/8. The following examples illustrate the use of fractions. Okay, notice 75% of 56. Well, R equals 75%, or 3/4, and B is 56. Okay, so notice what they're doing. They're looking for A right now, or sorry, they're looking for A. So whenever they do this, notice what they're doing is they're just multiplying straight across. Okay, first they reduced a little bit, then they do 3 times 14 and they get the 42. That works out. If that's how you want to do it, that's fine. I'm not going to be very picky on how you decide to do these. Okay, so tip for working with percents. The following two comments are helpful in understanding percents and to relative sizes of bases and amounts. A percent is just another form of a fraction. Okay, it really is. If you think about it, it's something over 100. When you find a percent of a given number, the amount will be A, smaller than the given number if the percent is less than 1%, larger than the given number is the percent if the percent is more than 100%. Makes sense. When something is larger than 100%, if I invest $100 in something, if I make back less than 100, then I've made back less than 100%. If I make more than that, then of course I just didn't. I made, way more. So it kind of helps out. So maybe that kind of helps out. Maybe understanding money. This is going to be kind of one of those things kind of intuitively you'll kind of catch on to. So.